Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to stage our newest icon, Atticus Ross.
Thanks, Mike. Very much appreciate it. And the whole BMI family. Tracy, Mike Steinberg, I really do appreciate this. And, you know, it's very humbling. Is everyone sitting comfortable? It's going to be a long one. I was trying to freak my kids out. I wrote a speech. I'm just trying to remember it right now. So, the first time I came in this room, Claude, when she was talking, she said 10 years, which just goes to show that time flies when you're having fun. Because it was actually 15 years ago. 15 years ago, we came here. It was the first film, Book of Eli, and we won an award. There's two things I remember about that night. One, Dave Arnold gave a very entertaining speech. And the other was, I felt incredibly intimidated and uncomfortable all night. I felt like, well, one, I felt like, what is this weird place? And who are these weird people? I felt like, you know, I'm the imposter and you all know how to do it. I'm the kind of, the room full of pros kind of thing. And what I've come to understand as time goes on is the thing I love about film music is there aren't any rules. There aren't any pros. You know, it is all really about, essentially, to my mind, it's all about how can we make people feel? And that's what music is about. A lot of the people in the film, which was interesting watching it slip in and out of sync, and the subs go. You know, they talk about relentlessness and drive and work ethic, and I'm not arguing that this can be hard work. But I've put a lot of effort into making sure that this never feels like a job. I wake up every day grateful for the opportunity to make music. You know, this is my dream. I don't take it lightly. I did have something important to say. I'm just trying to think of it. Yeah, what I wanted to say was that, you know, it kind of bums me out when people think of this or talk of it in terms of like the artisan or whatever, because I do believe scoring films is an art form. And I do believe that all of you sitting in this room are artists. And I think, you know, the most important thing well, the most important thing has been to be truthful. I feel like, you know, when people think about me and Trent sometimes, the first thing that comes to mind is is music. But what it's really been about is friendship, and through that friendship, processing life, and then in processing life, being able to create music that carries the emotion. And I feel like that is the essence of film scoring. You know, we're given a story. I'm not disputing that we're working within a director's vision nor are we always in service to picture, but I have found it a place for self-expression. It's through those stories that I've been able to access, or rather I'd put it like, the only way I do know how to score a film is via self-expression, is via reaching inside myself, finding in the characters in the story something that I can personally relate to, which we all can. You know, it's essentially the human condition, where Alan spoke about it, whether it's love, loss, you know, fear, whatever it is. We know what that is. It just becomes about how do we access it and how do we bring it to life. And I think, you know, I've never been more affected. There's probably 3 places where I've been most affected and kind of conscious of the power of music. When I was younger, you know, in a nightclub, chemically enhanced, possibly, at a concert, and in a cinema. You know, in a cinema, it's a communal, human connection where we are transported by what we're seeing and hearing coming out of the speakers. And I do think there is, that, you know, it sounds corny, but I do feel it's like it is a kind of spiritual experience. There's so many people that I would thank, but I don't have enough time, you know, which is all the directors, all the producers, all the editors, everybody who's worked on all the films. There's been my collaborators, obviously Trent, Claude, Leo, that's my family. I've been making music with them since I was a long time. And more recently, someone came into the studio, started as an intern, now he's the big boy on the block, the award-winning composer Nick, sitting over there. And I encourage anyone who has the opportunity to lift up younger, up-and-coming people to do it. You know, we need... I want to thank, sadly, Bradley has COVID, so he's not here. I would be thanking Bradley. I'd be thanking Doug Mark, my lawyer. I'd be thanking Sarah Newkirk, my manager. My parents are here tonight, by chance. They were asking if anyone's going out clubbing later. They're ready. But the person I want to thank most is, well, hold on. I've skipped some very important people. My children. Ione, Lucius, and Wolf. I love you. But the most important person, and the person who has inspired me for many, many, many years, is my wife, Claudia. We come from in the same neighborhood in London, and there was one point in our life where you'd be hard-pushed to find anyone who would have bet more than a £5 that the furthest we'd make it was the end of the street. And here we are in the Beverly, whatever the hotel. The second last thing I'm going to say is this morning we announced a festival called Future Runes. And I did a rather bad job at the beginning of my speech because I couldn't remember what it was. But the point is that this festival is, as the tagline goes, music tells a story. This is about lifting composers up, putting them in a place where they can shine, and bringing this music to people in a different context, and in a way that we hope goes toward building this community up and up and up and up, where it deserves to be. And then the last thing is just, if you're new and you've got a head full of big ideas, I'd say just go for it. The only thing that is holding you down is gravity. It's been a very nice evening. I'm glad I shared it with you. Hope you all have a good night. Thanks.